Christmas at the Ranch is an okay film. I didn't love it, but I think I'm happy enough to recommend it. This was released in 2021. It's directed by Christin Baker, written by Baker and Julie Anton, and it stars Amanda Righetti as Kate and Laur Allen as Haley. And after being away for a long time, Haley has to return to her family's ranch to help try and save it because the bank are going after them. It looks like unless they can come up with a lot of money or a way to save it, they're going to have to let it go. And while she's there, she meets Kate, and Kate is a ranch hand, and sparks begin to fly between them. And what I will say is they don't make a whole big deal about the fact that the protagonists are lesbians. Obviously, there are some romantic sparks there, and they actually meet via a dating app without realizing that each person is already connected to this ranch. And obviously, they are making a small deal about it, but no more than you would a heterosexual story. And I really appreciate that. And I think it worked really well because as soon as you make a big song and dance about it, you're saying, hey, this is different. This is not something you normally see. Please pay attention to us for this reason. When really you watch a film for the story, even if that story does include this relationship. The story itself with the ranch, I was invested enough to see what would happen, but it wasn't the most compelling. I didn't fully get behind the emotions that would come with having this family ranch. I also feel like the characters were maybe a little bit unpredictable in a bad way. By characters, I am specifically speaking about Kate and Haley, and I think they both overreacted on numerous occasions. And that's something that really annoys me in these kinds of films when characters just are completely unrealistic in their responses. They do it, of course, to create the drama, for characters to have these heightened emotions. But if it feels unnatural or I don't fully believe their motivations, it's hard to get behind. So they're my two main criticisms. The characters not always having the most believable responses. Not all of the time, but enough that I paid attention to that aspect. And the narrative not really dragging me in emotionally as much as some other films that deal with a similar concept do. However, the pacing of the narrative is great. It's comfortably predictable in parts, but there are a few curveballs thrown in there every now and then just to keep things a little bit fresh. Sure, I wasn't emotionally invested in the narrative, but I was still curious enough to see what the final outcome would be and where things would go. With regards to it being Christmas at the ranch, honestly, it really isn't. There is not a lot of Christmas in this. I feel like it could be set any time of the year and we wouldn't lose anything. So if you're looking for a film to put you in the Christmas spirit, I don't think this is going to be your best choice. But if you're looking for a film with an interesting enough narrative, likable enough characters, and a sweet story, if not one that I found myself emotionally engaged in, then it's not bad. It's a very easy watch. And sometimes that's all I want. I want a film that's pleasant enough, generally well written, easy to watch, with beautiful settings. And I have to say, I love films set on ranches because I just love the environment. I also love films set in really busy cities with a lot of high tech as well. Basically, I'm very easily pleased. I'm not actually sure where this one was filmed. The filming locations are not listed on IMDb. If anybody can provide any information to that effect, please feel free to do so. But I did enjoy the ranch aspect. We have some gorgeous scenery. So there are some positives about this film, enough that I would recommend it. It may not be perfect, it may not be the best film I've ever seen, but if you're looking for an easy watch with some relatively pleasant characters and a nice enough narrative, with a sprinkling of Christmas, we have some festive decorations and things, but honestly, it's not the most festive beyond that. But with all of that in mind, if it sounds like your kind of film, then I'd say Christmas at the Ranch is worth checking out. It's certainly not too bad.